raw and rugged, and it had so much heart and passion. I really, really enjoyed this. It felt very like grassroots, very radical, and I liked all of the handheld shots. Um, I liked that it wasn't perfectly polished. I loved the music choice. It really just kind of stirs something in you and makes you feel motivated and passionate. And um, these humans are just living their best lives and um, using skateboarding as a metaphor and a tool to find joy and understanding and learn lessons through life, through resilience, persistence. And we see that through the film where it's not just showing us, the cool action shots. It's also showing all of the failures, all of the falls, all of the scrapes, all of the hurt over and over and over, and showing us the patience that it takes in order to master a skill. And then when we see them do it and we get to celebrate along with them, I just think that this was so special. I love getting to meet all of the different people kind of highlighted through this.
A really interesting overlap of obviously the cultural differences of Brazil to what you would imagine to be the core American sort of skateboarder culture, but it has translated into all the places, and it reflects in a very sense of authenticity. I'm sorry, it reflects a sense of authenticity of that culture and counterculture in a way that I thought was very interesting. I thought all the skateboarders that were highlighted had interesting backstories and showed how they were sort of pushed away from society and found a home within skateboarding culture. And I thought the piece was very thoughtful in terms of reflecting the emotional reasons and the sort of almost spiritual reasons as to why they were moved to find their sense of self within this culture and their sense of identity within this culture in a way that I thought was very authentic. And I thought that all the subjects that spoke about their lives and their past really sort of created a sense of emotional depth for the piece, and the piece just had a great sense of pacing and rhythm.
I really like the introduction of everybody and all the different people and what it means to them. And I really liked the narration. It was like poetry throughout that was like an ode to skateboarding, in my opinion. And at one point there was a mention of it being like water. I'm not exactly sure how it was stated, but it just reminded me that not like water, but that it started on water. So it was like, to me, it was like comparing it to surfing, and maybe that's where skateboarding kind of originated, was the idea of doing what's been done on the water, but with wheels. I don't know, but that's what it alluded to at one point and made me think of. So I think that was really cool and enlightening. I wrote down the quote, "Be yourself," because I think that is a great message to take away from this. It was an interesting perspective, I thought, on skateboarding and the skateboarding community and what it actually means to them, and the lessons in failure. You fall down, you get up and you go again. You get up and you go again. You get up and you go again, and you have bruises and scars and scrapes from it, but you're learning to persevere through failure. I'm alive and living, and it's just, all of this was just, I just loved it a lot. I thought it had really great messages in it and enlightened me into why people do skateboard and the community that they have, and they lean on each other and learn a lot of, perseverance through it.
As the LGBT community, they have always fought for human rights and had this activist mind because it's part of who they are and what they've had to fight for. As far as the skater community goes, they kind of go hand in hand here. So skaters are usually known as anarchists, kind of being underground, fighting for their chances of freedom. And this is what we get to see expressed as these two worlds sort of collide. I loved the individuals that were represented and had their stories and journeys told. I think we had a good base of B-roll footage of them going through these journeys. The scene that sticks out with me the most is seeing one of the skaters kind of crash and burn and try to do a trick over and over and over again until finally they actually achieve this goal.
It really gives an insight into the universe of queer skateboarding and embraces this movement and allows us to deconstruct these traditional stereotypes that exist within this culture of skating. And it tends to lean towards this male-focused branding. When you think of skater, you really think of, male focus. A lot of the heroes within that world, it's very aggressive or masculine focus, is if you think of the conventional format. And this sport, I liked that this piece gave you varying attitudes and varying perspectives. It gave you a different point of view. It focused on the fight against the prejudices that are experienced by this community, specifically within skateboarding. And I felt like I had insight into this community watching this. It felt personal. And then one thing that stood out to me was a lot of the action shots with the skateboarding really made this piece move and have like all this life in action because of the shots. It elevated it from what you would consider most documentaries to look like.
We learn that skateboarding is a mirror of society. Its beauty, its freedom and identity. For some, skateboarding helped them figure out who they are. It is a necessary part of life that helps keep skaters living on the planet and fighting against their country who does not accept who they are. They skate to raise awareness and spread a message to their fascist government that they will keep doing what they want. There was a lot of diversity and color in this film, as many of the skaters were part of the LGBT community. The camera quality is intentionally grainy to give that Polaroid retro indie feel, like it was taken from scenes in the late 90s to early 2000s. There was a lot of change of scenery that lets us dive into the character's world. The shots and color grading all work well alongside the calming music to give this bright, original feeling to a topic that's very artistic, expressionistic, and personal. I felt it was very free, and it kind of just grew along as it was being made and turned into its own art form.